PedalCulture is an exhibition catalog that I wrote to accompany an exhibition that I curated on guitar effects pedals when looked at as cultural artifacts. And I'm going to read to you about some pedals and a little background from the exhibition. So, the culture of guitar effects pedals and guitar effects pedals in the culture. Hail, hail, rock and roll. When Chuck Berry's mythical Johnny B. Goode picked up his axe and brought rock and roll to the post-war teenage masses, rock's exuberance and swagger propelled an emergent musical form beyond style, beyond substance, to something more closely resembling a cultural shift. Youth everywhere heard the siren sound of a wailing electric guitar plugged into a searing overdriven amplifier, thus ensuring that music would never be the same, and perhaps more importantly, with popular culture. All right, our first pedal is the Fuzz Right Fuzz Right. The Fuzz Right Fuzz Right is one of several popular fuzz pedals of the 1960s. While each type of fuzz effect has its devoted following, the Fuzz Right holds a special place in the palpitating hearts and the freaked out minds of 60s music aficionados. The effect's full-on raspy buzz was famously employed by heavy psychedelic music makers Iron Butterfly and by a host of local San Francisco bands. Fuzz Right also was the fuzz of choice for peppering sonic aggression and raunch into exploitation movie soundtracks of the era, and added audio excitation to the first blush of mainstream porn. Next up is the Big Muff. That's the pedal on your left. Let's start with the original Big Muff Pie, a 1969 effects pedal that was the first of many Big Muff versions produced by pedal maker Electro Harmonics. In the hands of Pink Floyd's David Gilmour, King Crimson's Robert Fripp, and quite a few other guitar virtuosos, the Big Muff quickly caught on and became one of the most popular guitar effects pedals of all time. There's no hiding from the Big Muff. This is as blatant a metaphor as you're likely to find in the entire etymology of guitar pedals. Yet, strangely, it's the elephant in the room that defies acknowledgement. It's the adolescent in every guitarist, the prefrontal cortex that refuses to grow up. Big Muff Pie contains not one, but two different euphemisms for female genitalia, and is a play on fuzz as a colorful graphic metaphor for the pubic territories. The implications of the name and its obvious anatomical reference spawned a world of offspring, fuzzy variants with similarly suggestive names, like Muff Diver, Large Beaver, and the Hair Pie Classic. You'll find some lively examples on display, along with a few highly graphic ones too, thus a peep curtain concealing the exhibit. Our next pedal, on the right page, there's a visage of Donald Trump screened onto that pedal, and it's called the Bullshit Booster. For most builders, it would be enough to add a 20 decibel signal boost, jolting the amp from its slumber and taunting it into frenzied overdrive. But London's Tate Effects has something else up its sleeve, requiring we put on our high waders for a trek through the muck of contemporary American politics. Just when you thought it could get no deeper, the device boosts the BS, rubbing our noses in the stench of a bully pulpit, while delivering just the boost guitarist needs to cut through the crap. Tate Effects hit its stride with Brexit Means Brexit, maximum distortion pedal with controls for racism and recession. But why dip into someone else's fear and loathing when foul waters are rising so much closer to home? And our final pedal on the right is the Octopussy. Octopussy buzzes inside my brain like the perfectly blended cocktail, a Vesper in fact, potent and poetic, making me feel like James Bond leading a garage band, smooth and stylish, yet raw and raunchy. Like a bikini-clad biker chick riding a surfboard on a sonic shockwave of sensuality, notes swirl in the air while strangers dance together at a beach party. Atomic sea monsters rise from the surf, 8 notes above the sea, and making raw, gurgling, discordant, yet mesmerizing noises that permeate the atmosphere and cloud our consciousness like a thick marine mist. At first, the bestial cacophony is intimidating, menacing. Are they here to mangle or mingle, to hate or mate? But then the hypnotic effects of the reverberating riffs trigger deep and resonant chords within the darkest chambers of our primitive souls, and I'm captivated. My mind, a fuzzy purple haze. That was guest written by Will the Thrill Viharo, the movie maven and pulp fiction writer. And that's the end of story time for today, boys and girls.